Good morning. Welcome, movers. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, my name is Gina, and I do Pilates and yoga videos where my focus is on body mechanics to get the most out of your workout. Today, we're doing a Pilates workout with the stability ball. The stability ball is great for beginners. It can help learn exercises correctly, but it can also add extra challenge. The challenge it really focuses on is stability in your core. It makes muscles work that you usually can't get working, the deepest of the core muscles. So it's a great added bonus to your workout. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's go ahead and get started. You're going to lay it on your back, placing the ball on the inner thighs. Make sure it's not on your knees, but on the actual inner thighs. All right, we're going to start in a neutral position of the pelvis. So you're not pushing your back into the mat. Just hold your pelvis stable. Feet flat on the ground, and we're going to go ahead, take a breath in. As we exhale, squeeze your ball and release. We'll do several of these. As you're squeezing the ball, you want to keep your pelvis in a neutral position. Do your best to squeeze the ball coming from really just the inner thighs. And the inner thighs really assist your deeper pelvic floor muscles to working, and that's great. So you're starting to focus on squeezing sits bone to sits bone, the pelvic floor muscles drawing in and then up also towards your rib cage. Do your squeezes without doing a pelvic tilt. We're going to hold neutral first. And also without squeezing, overworking, and squeezing the front of your hips, your hip flexors. We'll do about 4 more. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to add to it. We'll go into your bridge. So you squeeze. Now when you're doing a bridge, you want to keep your head forward. So you can watch one first. We'll squeeze, curl the tailbone. Now begin to use your glutes and your back muscles to rise up. Inhale here, and then exhale, roll back down, all the way back to neutral pelvis. So when you're bridging, you don't want your head turned. It can put a strain on your neck. So just look straight forward. Here we go. Squeeze your ball, pelvic tilt with your abs. Then the glutes can work once you start to rise up and get into your back body. Pause here and squeezes on the ball here. So press and press. Squeeze on your exhale, release on your inhale. For 5, 4, keep your hips up. 3, 2, don't let them sag. Hold the squeeze on your ball and roll your spine down. Back to neutral pelvis. In your neutral pelvis, take your left leg, squeeze the ball into the right leg, and don't move the right leg. Then extend your left lower leg, only the lower leg, and then slide it back down. Now do the same on the other side. Right leg presses the ball into the left. The goal here is don't let your pelvis dip side to side. So if I wasn't really using my core muscles, you could see how my hips start to dip side to side. And we don't want that. So use your oblique muscles. This uses your oblique muscles when you squeeze the ball and holding your pelvis stable. Great for the side work. 2 more. And then we'll put that in the bridge this time. Squeeze your ball, roll into your bridge. All right, left leg presses into the right. Extend your left lower leg, slide it back in. Exhale out, inhale in, exhale reach, inhale in. Here we go. This is a tough one, right? You can go back to the first variation we did with your hips down. This feels like it's too much right now, and that's a great way to practice it. 1 more. Definitely feeling the inner thighs start to work there. And then roll your spine back down. All right, nice deep breath in and big exhale. Okay, now in our bridges, we want your feet close to you. We're going to go straight up this time, no rounding. So straight up. And I'm not going to go very high. We're going to go ahead part way down and then repeat. As you lift, you're focusing on the lift from your back body, glutes, and upper back. You squeeze the ball every time you lift. Now, I'm not going very high. Sometimes we can go high in our sequential bridges, but oftentimes what happens here is this happens. Ribs pop, butt sticks out, and you hurt your back. It doesn't feel good. You want to keep a connection in your front body between your pelvis and your ribs. For 5, 4, focus is here. 3, right on those glutes. 2, 1, set yourself straight down. Go into a pelvic tilt now. Abs pull in, squeeze your ball. This is a tough one. All right, you're going to squeeze and lift both legs up. If that doesn't feel good, then just pick one leg up at a time. It's a little easier, one leg at a time, and then put the ball back in. Squeeze is here, everybody. Squeeze, release. Now, this is tough, having both legs up and the ball in there. So oftentimes this will happen, arching. That's not going to feel good in your back later on. That's not going to feel good now. So if that's the case, take the ball out and try some leg lifts, or just keep squeezing with the feet down on the ground. Or you can bring your knees closer to your chest till you get stronger to bring your knees right over your hips. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the ball out, one foot down at a time. All right, good. Do some knee drops here to get a nice little stretch going into your low back. All right. Now, if you have any uh, back conditions going on right now, like a bulging disc, um, even stenosis, you might want to just do this on the ground instead of up on the ball. You can do it with stenosis as long as you really maintain a neutral pelvis. No big rounding in the spine. So we're going to get the ball underneath your pelvis. This creates a lot more work in the core. So we want to try and avoid any arching. We're going to draw the abs in and stay in a nice little imprint position and bring our legs to tabletop. Start with the single leg lower. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. Now you can go as far as you can keep your abs in and no arching in the back. Maybe that's halfway. Maybe it's all the way. Doesn't matter. You're getting great core strength as long as you do it correctly, right? And don't let your back arch like that. For 4 more, trying also to keep our shoulders out of it and our neck. They want to get involved too. So we try to keep them out of it. Now, single leg extension. Exhale, reach. Inhale, back in. Exhale, squeeze your core, drawing your hip bones towards one another, and then back in. Stay soft in your neck. Last one. Abs draw in towards your spine. Hold nice and tight and extend your legs up. Now, you don't have to go all the way to straight legs if that really makes you do too much of a pelvic tilt. You can keep a soft bend in the knee or straight legs. But the focus is this, your abs, as we do a single leg lower and back up. I know the leg is working here, but the focus is all here. That you stay as stable as possible in your pelvis. So that will depend, how low you go with your leg will depend on how stable you are here. Now, going further isn't the goal. Staying stable is your goal. Last 2, keep a nice long spine, legs up to the ceiling. Let's go ahead, bring our heels together, toes apart, so you're turning out at your hips. Then we're going to inhale, push your legs out, flex your feet and pull together. Point your toes, press out, flex your toes and pull together. I want you to imagine that you're pulling into the quicksand. You're pushing and pulling in the mud. And you're pressing against resistance and pulling back. Little beats with our inner thighs, one on top of the other. If you want to add a little extra work, you can start to walk the legs down. That is a lot of work. If that's too much, then go ahead and just do the beats up to the ceiling. Back down. That's a good one. And up. Let's take a stretch. Always good to take a little break. And a deep breath. And then the last thing we'll do is circles. So abs in, separate your feet, draw little circles. Again, this is all about your abs. And if it's starting to feel discomfort in your back at all, then stop. Put your feet down, take the ball away, put it aside, do the exercise without the ball, or just take a break. Go the other direction. 2 more. 1 more. And then knees back to your chest. And what we'll do here is we'll keep a hold of your left knee in and extend your right leg long. And oof, that's going to feel really good in the front of your right hip. A nice hip flexor stretch here. Keep your head heavy, ribs heavy. 1 more deep breath in and out. You don't want to just jump out of this stretch. So slowly drag the right foot in, set it on the floor, and then set your left foot down. Just the ball a little bit, and then we'll stretch. You're going to go ahead, bring your right knee in, and then extend your left leg out long and stretch here. Nice deep breath in. As you stretch, or as we're here in the stretch, you'll notice that your knee can start to come a little closer to your chest. All right, drag your left foot in, set it on the ground, and then your right. And pause here. This is a compromising position to be in. It can be can be stress if you're not doing it correctly in the back. So we want to take a moment before you just pop off the ball. Utilize your glutes, your hamstrings, squeeze them nice and strong. Slowly lift up and then take the ball out. Good. Then we'll come up to sitting, give it a nice little stretch out. All right, I have my feet mat distance apart, and then the ball in front. Gently press your heels into the ground, turns your quads on. Having your quads on can help keep the strain out of your hip flexors and also helps keep us from rounding our back because of tight hamstrings. You want a nice flat back to begin with. Hands on the ball. Exhale, start from the crown of your head. You're going to roll down. We're going to do a little spine stretch. So you squeeze your belly, draw your navel to your spine, and then it's like you're pouring out a glass of water right over the top of the head, down to the floor, like a waterfall's coming off your back, off your head. And then we'll stack it back up. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your legs active, heels active into the floor. And keep even weight on both sits bones. This is often where we might feel or even see discrepancies between sides. I had a little more weight on one side, so anchor my left sits bone more because I was on my right, and that's going to get you lined up straight. Inhale, exhale 1 more. And stack back up using your back muscles. Hold the ball in front of you, still using your quads and heels to press down and squeeze and twist. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale to center. Try to keep, this is a good use of the tool here, the prop, the ball right in front of your chest or your sternum. So you're not just moving like this. That way you really get your side muscles, your obliques, and your back muscles to do the actual twisting. Last 2. And last 1. And then we're going to put the ball down. Combine the last 2 exercises. One of my favorites, we're going to do the saw. So we'll do a little rotation. Get your right pinky finger on the ball. Bring it to the left side. And then do a spine stretch forward. Inhale, stack. Switch hands. Exhale, reach. Inhale, stack. So you squeeze your low abs in and the upper, mid and upper back. Get a nice stretch out. Your backhand palm should turn inwards, not outward. And stack for correct position of our shoulder. It's all in the mechanics. And stack and reach. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, reach. This should feel nice. And stack back up. All right, we're going to take the ball behind us. So bend your knees, place the ball, and shove it on in there. Get it as tight in there against your sacrum as you can. And then we're going to lean into it and hold our shins. One thing with all the rolling in Pilates, the rolling exercises, the teasers, the roll downs, is over the years of teaching, I've seen people really jut their head forward, creating a lot of strain in the neck and in the low back, actually. So, what we'll do here to avoid that is press our hands into our shins, pull. See what that does is it turns my back muscles on. Now, your back is responsible for keeping your head in line with your spine, right? You do this, my back isn't on, my neck is doing the work now. We want to curl in the lower part of our torso, not so much in the upper. Once you have that, take your hands off and you're going to feel the work right here. You can even try it. You can kind of collapse and you don't feel it in your abs as much, right? You might feel it in your back. So let's get those muscles back on, the back muscles. Now I'm going to roll into the ball a little and up. This is good for beginners or advanced, right? Ball is helping us, it's assisting us here. You're going to get really good work in the low abs with proper form, a nice assist from the ball. 3 more. 2, or you could just hold this too. You can hold the position if that feels like it's too much. You could hold the beginning position we had. If you can, we add a little rotation here. Exhale to open, inhale to close. Exhale to twist, inhale to close, and twist, and center, and twist, and center. 2 more, and 1 more. Good. Then we're going to rise back up. Grab your ball, place it on the inner thighs. Go onto your forearms and bring your legs up and do some squeezes here. Now, one thing you want to check is you're not sinking here, but using your back to press into the ground and lift up. And then we'll go ahead, hold the ball, and go for some nice twists to work your side muscles, your obliques. Squeeze the ball as you pull back the center. So you can inhale, twist. Exhale, squeeze to pull back. Inhale, twist, and back. 2 more, and 1 more. And then we'll place our feet down as we push up to sitting. And we're just going to go for a forward fold stretch here. Nice full breath in and out. And then stack your spine up. All right, we're moving to hands and knees. Take the ball on the inner thighs. Actually, before we do the inner thighs, we're going to do a nice little twist right here. So I want you to imagine that you have a cup of water, a glass of water right here on your sacrum. That's the back of your pelvis. And you don't want to spill it for this one. So what we'll do is place the ball down, pinky finger on the ball. You're going to push that ball away, rotating your spine without spilling your water. And then pull back on the inhale, just to there. And then exhale, go again. So we're really getting into the true rotators. Oftentimes people will go move their hips, move their whole pelvis, and you are missing the actual rotation of your spine. You're just moving the hips. I see it often. So the cue of the glass of water is helpful. And this should feel really nice in your spine and back. And then side 2. Also, when you're on your hands, it can be stress in the wrist if you have too much weight in your wrist. So most of the weight should always be back in your legs when your hands are down. But do the other side. So exhale as you reach. Inhale as you pull back. And back. We're going to go 2 more. Inhale back. Last time. And back. All right. Go ahead, set your ball down. Hopefully it won't roll away too much. And we're going to do a little child's pose stretch. So hips back towards your heels. You could also do a cat stretch if this is uncomfortable on your knees. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And let your tailbone really get heavy and drop down towards the floor, towards your heels. And then we'll roll back up to all fours. And then we'll all do a cat-cow with the ball on the inner thighs. Start from your navel, right where the pelvis is, right at the pelvis, right above the pelvis. You go one vertebrae at a time. Let your ribs really lift up. And then start from your navel, right where the pelvis is, and go into your cow. Head comes last. So don't move your head until it's time. Wait till you sequentially get there. Big breath in. Big breath out. And back to neutral spine. Push the floor away from you. Okay, so you're protracting. Tuck your toes under, squeezing the ball. We're going to lift your knees up. All right, little squeezes on the ball. Squeeze, squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. Ah, good. Take a deep breath. We're going to do one more round of that. Press the floor away, abs into your spine, and hover. And squeeze. 10. Keep breathing. Quick breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2. Press your hips back into a down dog. Heels down if you can, without hyperextending. If you can't get your heels down, then keep the knees slightly bent and focus more on a flat back. The heels down is actually not the focal point. You're just reaching them towards the mat, whether they get down or not. And then kind of shimmy your feet out to a plank position. And we're just going to hold this plank. You're squeezing the ball the whole time with the upper thighs, head forward. You want an extra challenge, see if you can bend one knee, set the foot down, or just hold your plank for 4. Keep breathing. We often hold our breath on plank. Keep using your breath and knees down. All right, nice job, you guys. Good. Let's take the ball out into some sideline work. Here we go. One of the most important things about sideline work is getting into the proper position. So you want to be in a straight line and not rounded. So as tall as you can from the crown of your head to your sits bones. 1, 2, make sure your top hip is not rolled back behind the bottom hip. If anything, it should be slightly forward, but stacked is what we're looking for. And 3, no sinking into the ground with this oblique. Pull it up, hug it in. Place your ball on the inner thighs for a reverse clamshell. This is just a nice rotation of your hip joint here. I'm not going too far, not trying to go very far, just getting a nice clean rotation in the hip socket without getting into your pelvis moving or rock and rolling. Last one. Now we'll take the ball and we're going to go between your feet. It's a little bit trickier. Hold your knees in straight line with the hips so you aren't going to collapse them. Squeeze the ball for a double clamshell. This is one of my favorite exercises. So your thigh stays down, the lower leg rises, squeezing with both feet. You got this. 4. We'll go 3 more. 2, 1. Hold. Grab the ball. Okay, straighten your legs. All right. Bottom leg can be out slightly in front. Top leg's going to go back behind us. Hold the ball overhead. And then we're going to tap and reach. Tap and reach. Exhale. Bottom leg's working too. You can also bend that a little bit, but I think straight works better. A little more leverage that way. I was doing this with one of my clients last week. She inspired the video for this week. Last one. Now this one might be tricky depending on what kind of pants you have on. The ball may stay back there, it may not. You might have to roll your pant leg up or do it without the ball. But if you can squeeze it, it's going to be some good hammy work. So squeeze the ball. I'm pressing the lower leg into the ball into the upper leg. I'm going to try and do a full squeeze release and not a big clench. No quick, just do slow and steady. Then we'll take that leg, lift and lower. Don't have to go very high for this. 3, 2. That's our last one. Grab. Before we switch sides, I want you to stretch this leg out. Hold it bent in front. I often like to do just like use my knuckles, go right into some of these deep glute muscles here that we just worked and give them a good little roll right here. Okay, let's get ready for side 2. All right, onto our side. Always want to support our head with something. We'll just use our bent elbow and our arm here. Getting your spine stacked up. And once you feel like you have that set, then go for the ball here. Reverse clamshell. Just the leg in the hip socket. But you'll notice after the first few, without forcing it, your range of motion just will start to increase. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Double clamshell, my favorite exercise. We're going to squeeze and lift the lower leg. Exhale, inhale. 4 more. 4, 3, 2. Last one, you guys grab your ball, extend lower leg and the lower arm. Reach top leg and arm, and then exhale. Top, inhale to reach. The further away from your center of gravity with that kick forward, the harder your core is going to work. Controlled movement for 4, 3, 2. Last one. Don't rest your leg. Keep it up and set your ball back there. Okay, squeezing your ball. Bottom leg can be straight. Little presses. It's barely moving, but it is definitely working. Hamstring, back of your thigh. 3, 2, 1, and then little lifts. Slow and controlled. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Grab your ball. Great. Now we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to set the ball between, for our last thing, is right here between your shoulder blades. So right about there. So knees bent. As you get into the position, we'll do some work first and then a nice big stretch. So to protect your neck here, let's do hands behind the head. Now, so you don't want your head forward. So just like we grabbed our shins earlier when we were sitting, you're going to press your head into your hands, and elbows will end up going forward quite a bit. So I'm going to keep my elbows here rather than here, right? So you're pushing your head back, and that turns. I'll move so you can see, right? So it turns your back muscles on. This is what we want. And all of a sudden, I feel my abs working a ton. Here, not working. My neck is working. My low back is working. Not good. So push, hands into head. Okay, now you can lower a teeny bit and lift. So see how small these movements are? But they're really, I'm going to move my elbow just so you can see. Elbow, but they're really targeted to the upper abdominals here. And then once I fold right underneath here where my sternum is, I don't go any higher. That's something I'll see people tend to think they have to go further. Nope. Protect your neck. You don't. Just little guys. 3, 2, 1. Hold. And do a little twist. Very small movement. Very small. Don't let your hips move. Don't let your knees move. 4. Shoulder to opposite knee. Very small, but a lot of good core work. 2, 1. Nice. Give yourself a stretch. Go over the top of the ball. Now, don't let your neck bend. That's why our hands are here to support our head. So this you want to avoid. You want to stretch your upper chest. Maybe your head touches the floor, maybe it doesn't. Everyone's different. So keep your hands back there so your neck isn't the focal point. You want your chest opening the upper back, releasing the upper back and opening your chest. On an exhale, roll up. And then from here, the best way to come off is to roll to your side and push up. Grab your ball. One more abdominal exercise here. You're going to take the ball, set it on your left knee, hold it there with your right elbow. Bring your right knee in. We're going to press out. Exhale out. Inhale in. Last little abdominal exercise here. For 5. Push your head back into your hands. 3, 2, 1. Come back, sit your head down. Let's switch. Left elbow and press. Exhale to reach. Almost there. Last 2. And last 1. Grab your ball. Oh, we're done. So let's do a little knee drop to the side. Now you can open up the space between your hips and your ribs and let your bones get heavy. Okay, let's drop the other way. And as always, coming out of position, you want to put a lot of focus into so you're not straining anything. So we roll to the side, and then you use your top hand to push up. And that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for being here today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.